Hello, and welcome to another video. In this video, we're playing some high alacrity concealment. So last couple of videos that I had left from the previous week that I played, and then we'll start getting some fresh gameplay. This is the last match that I played. I've been playing some Madness today, but it's kind of boring. All the matches were not people wanting to play and playing defensively, like as if they were playing solo ranked and 8v8. I really don't understand that. I really hope that we can see healers get buffed or some sort of change to change the mentality of players. Being so scared of dying is just not healthy for the game, but at the same time people do die a lot nowadays. So seeing healers being buffed and or easier to play would be great. Anyway, I'm running evasion reflect, and I'm also taking the reduced cooldown on evasion with the movement speed buff so I can stay on target a little bit better, but also I want to reflect any damage if they try to go me, is to kind of like scare them out of going me. Then I'm also taking the DOR talent, which gives me damage reduction on my lacerate, and then I also have a second wind. And then I'm taking 10% crit hit chance on upper hand, I believe. So it's a little bit different than my normal build, but I think this works. I think the reflect is really good just in case they try to go me, and then also at the same time the extra mobility will really help, especially against a Madness Sorcerer. Not having my hard stun is a very bad move, but I'm kind of bluffing them into making it a situation where they don't want to go me. Even though I probably am a decent target here, I just want to make it like, okay, maybe don't go me. And it worked out in my favor. Here I get a second wind proc and a hollow traverse and roll. I need to heal here, but unfortunately he's going to use most of his stuff here to try to keep me low, which is probably what he should do, but at the same time, Deathbrand is pretty scary for me, but it's mainly more scary on Madness than it is a Sage, by the way. So if you are interested in playing that class consistently, Madness Deathbrand seems to bug out more than Sages. We end up getting a backfill, so now we're going to have a 4v4 for the next match, but we have a 1v1 to win at this point. Not having hard stun definitely makes this matchup a lot closer, and for the most part, Concealment can pretty much win everything. Madness is very annoying and very tough to fight. It has a lot of stuff that it could use to kind of like face tank me and also do a lot of damage to me, but unfortunately he kind of uses his movement plus his like bigger damaging abilities in a position where I can just free roll. Not really ideal. You really want to lock me down and get a root on me while you're trying to get your bigger damage down, because that's going to be far more effective. If I can just roll your damage, then you're probably never going to get anything done. Anyway, we get our medpack reset, which is kind of like why I really had to stealth earlier. I wanted to stealth as soon as possible, so I didn't have to worry. And this just ends up being pretty much free for me. I think Madness can definitely win there, but in the current setup that we're playing, he's just not good enough at it, unfortunately. It was still fun regardless, even though I am not taking hard stun. If I had hard stun, especially if I had flashbang, that match up wouldn't really even be that close at all. His DR from his dots would actually end up falling off, and I'd be able to do so much damage to him. But yeah, that's not what happened. And then the rest of this match kind of is just a roll. Round one, I was hitting a different target than everybody else, and the main reason I was doing that was to get the damage going on all three of the PTS, so that it won't be too healthy when it comes to a 2v2 or a 1v2 and whatnot, which did end up working out in my favor. Now here comes the same thing here. I am just telling this person I probably could be better off hitting this guy, but for the most part I just kind of like tell it to defensives. I don't really care. We want to get the PTs down, because that's the only way we could possibly lose if they get a kill. So sooner that we can get one down, the better. And for whatever reason, they kind of let the Stork do whatever he wants, which is great. Just the Stork kind of like semi-knows what he's he's doing when it comes to damage, so we don't really have to worry. I think like probably he could have positioned a little bit better so he could just actually sit there and spam and parse on them because they really didn't stop him at all. But regardless, he still did pretty good damage. And we didn't really have to worry about anything in a 4v4 situation that's not as close, I guess you could say. Anyway, moving on to the next match here, we have a heal and tank match where there is, I would say, not a completely fair matchup. So for example, I don't think Mercenary is horrible here, but also at the same time, I don't think Concealment is like ideal either. So I feel like the Arsenal and Concealment kind of cancel each other out. However, what doesn't cancel each other out is the relatively slow guard swaps. So for example, right now, there's no reason for the Mercenary to have reflect, or not reflect, but guard. Healer should have gotten guard earlier, and then once the shield's gone, the Mercenary should get his guard. And then obviously here, like, guard the PT, but also watch the healer. Some of those situations where, you know, you're just too late on it, it creates too much pressure, and you kind of get screwed. So for example, the sniper's already on the healer, I see that, and I'm like, okay, well, we can definitely kill him here, gets net. It's gonna break this, but he's still just gonna die to the combo. He never gets guard, and he tries phase walk, but he's still dead. Kind of unfortunate for him. Wasn't really even that coordinated, and he just pretty much died. He definitely should have had guard sooner, and then on top of that, just in general, when it comes to dealing with burst DPS, you should really try to guard off of the melee DPS and shut down the melee DPS. Trying to stop a NG sniper is pretty much just going to give the NG sniper everything he could possibly want. Plus he has CC immunity, so you can't really stop him. So dumping your stuns into the melee DPS and making sure that he can't coordinate anything at all, it's much better. I know that I'm playing Concealment, I can roll stuns, but I can't roll roots. You root me into a stun, it's going to be far more effective. So really, it's up to the tank on the enemy team to play that correctly. Hit me, and then on top of that, guard off me, and on top of that, guard faster. It's way more important than damage, especially against burst DPS. The nice thing about Arsenal is that they don't need as many things to help them survive. Like, they have shield tolerance enough to usually help them, unless there's both DPS on them, then you probably want to intercede or guard them. Energy shield is really good. Same thing with PT, but PT doesn't have a way to get its health back like Mercenary does when shield pops off. Just not guarding here is like horrible. This is a free Phantom Strike, but phase walk. He ended up phase walking the other way. I never saw him ever put his phase over there, so I was a little confused. I thought he would be over here, but that's really bad for them. But that was a good phase walk, like positioning wise, where he would put it. But unfortunately, it won't really matter. And I put enough damage on the PT that he gets scarred, and then the healer doesn't have phase walk and could bear, but he ends up getting netted, and he just dies pretty much again for free. And that's just, again, an issue with the tank. You have to guard swapper. Guarding is the most important part of your role. After that, then it comes CC, and then after that comes taunting, and then obviously interceding and damage. Damage is the lowest priority. Obviously, it's very important to do damage, but you want to make sure that you're staying on top of everything else first, which is the hard part. This is why muscle memory is important. Create muscle memory for doing damage while you're doing the other things actively. Anyway, do I think Concealment's good? I think it's a lot better than what people think about, but it still suffers from 4 meter range and isn't meta for sure. It's definitely fun to play, especially high alacrity. I think high alacrity makes it a little bit more viable, but other than that, I appreciate you guys for watching. I will see you guys again soon.